Well, hello, and welcome to Opal City Confidential, a Starman podcast. Hi, it's me, Ross, and Kirby's here with me, and so is Brent, and that must mean that Starboy has appeared, and he was the cliffhanger in issue 49, and we're going to be discussing issue 50. Um, so, Kirby, you got pertinent data?
I sure do.
Does that mean Superman won't be here?
So,
Right.
Starman number 50, Lighting the Way Now and Yet to Be, has a cover date of February 1999, an on sale date of December 2nd, 1998. Writer James Robinson, plotter David S. Goyer, penciler Peter Snybaer, that's how I'm pronouncing it going
Snyder.
forward. Inker Wade P. Von Grawbadger and Keith Champagne, letterer Bill Oakley, colorist John Cleese, and editor the great Peter J. Tomasi.
Yes. Jack Knight and his spacefaring crew accidentally travel through time and crash land on a living planet Krypton. There they meet a teenage Jor-El long before he becomes the famous father of Superman. While the rest of Kryptonian society is cold and emotionless, the curious young boy bonds with Jack over tales of Earth and the human feelings. This fateful meeting inspires Jor-El's future fascination with Earth, ultimately explaining why he chose as a safe haven for his infant son.
Superman's the only reason I came.
With
I'm a huge,
cover credits of Tony Harris.
of course, it's a beautiful portrait. But we're going to go to a quick synopsis, which I'm going to record later, and we'll be right back. All right, that was our introduction to this story and this tale, and it is. I hadn't read this one. I'll start. I really enjoyed the hell out of this. I hadn't read this in a long time. It was everything I want in a Starman comic, and I love Peter Snedberg's art. I here and in some JSA he did, and then what he's doing now. If I know he's doing the book, I'm gonna at least take a look at it and read it.
Por-
It's so
You
different,
guys
but
haven't talked
it's
much about him on Books of Magic or Books of, I think he did Books of Fairy as well.
did he?
His fantasy stuff is even better. Like
Oh,
Is it?
wow. I'm
Oh,
going
then
to
I
have to
need
check
to
that
see
out.
this
it.
is fun, but his fantasy stuff's even better. I'm pretty sure it's Books of Magic, one of the
Yeah.
one of the iterations.
I just
Okay, that tracks with Hornsby and Halo, then, definitely. I can see
because
it.
that's a
Yeah.
nice mix of both of fantasy and cartoony. He's like I just know I love his art. It's very simple in a lot of ways, but it's always dynamic. You understand,
Hmm.
what Kirby and me talked about Tarnished Angels, Astro City story about um they had Steeljack, the main character's got this shiny face and it was a lot of reflection, but it was also you could tell the emotion that was happening. You knew what he was thinking because and I'm that way with this. And it's just lighter than Tony, but maybe I just
I
because I
think
love
I
the
think
series so much,
his
I just think it's important.
backgrounds his backgrounds in this series are weaker than the stuff he does in the fantasy environment. Like his fantasy backgrounds are full of detail, like lots of little fairies flying around and trees and plants and castles, and he does much stronger background work in that
Yeah.
environment. But I think it's his passion. I think it comes
Yeah.
across.
And I think with this too is he was hired to protect Tony. It's like, you're gonna do 8 out of 10 issues. That's what we
Hmm.
need from you. And if you
Hmm.
need a break, we'll figure it out. And there are a couple times where Steve Yao comes back in. I think there's some more Steve Yao ahead of us.
There's
Um,
some Craig Hamilton. He takes over for like an issue or two here and
yeah.
there.
Yeah. So, and I think it's because I think the art reminds me of Sal Buscema in a way. There's just that simple, cartoony-ish that's always fun. There's something about, you know, I love John, I love his brother, but Sal could be silly. And he treated it I liked it. It's a little more cartoony, but I love it. I just love this. I just love his art. I'm gonna gush at it for the rest of the series because some greats. I'm glad he does Prince Gavin.
Yeah,
It
I think the
it,
other thing
re
he
it
does
really
really
reminds.
well,
Yeah,
he differentiates ages really well. Like Starboy in this issue looks like a teenager.
Yep.
And, I really like the way he does that sort of variety of ages of characters. And we don't always see that done well in comics.
No,
No,
I
it's there's
mean,
this weird thing. It's like I want to ask you this. They say Grell they decided to age up the Legionnaire when Grell came on. I just think he
Mhm.
didn't draw kids well.
Could be.
You
yeah,
just
I mean,
didn't. None of them could, man.
I,
You didn't really see a good kid drawn until Kitty Pryde in a lot of ways.
oh man, John Byrne, like going through Byrne's Superman, it's like, how old is Jimmy supposed to be? He is anywhere between like
All his
16 and
children look like
25.
you mentioned that, and I went to that issue and looked around and looked at other kids, and I was like, oh no, they look like bobbleheads. Their heads are too big. Um, but yeah,
It's good.
Oh, one thing
It's
I
good. So
did
how did you
like,
guys feel when you read the cliffhanger page of this the first time of issue
I was
49?
like, I think I might have said, "Oh fuck yeah!" I was happy because it's
yeah,
Legion, and
Yeah.
which Legion is being published? It's still
At
we're
this
still in
point,
the
pre
Archie.
it's the reboot. It's the reboot, the Archie Legion,
Abnett Landing, correct?
Yes,
pre-Abnett
yeah,
and Landing.
Okay,
Yep.
that's because there's a before and after with that run. You know,
right.
they're two,
Yeah, it's not
two,
far
yeah.
away. It's not far away from this point, though.
Yeah, because
Okay,
by this point they've kind of abandoned. And I just double checked this because Jim Fetters, is big on the original reboot timeline. They've definitely abandoned that original timeline by this point, to where it's like 1 year of comics equaled like a month in story or something like that. Oh, one thing I did want to mention, Brent, when you're talking the art, I was thinking that kind of myself, but in a way of like, oh, there's a lot of just black backgrounds. I'm like, I wonder if this was how they convinced them to jump on with issue 50, because like, hey, you have to do a lot more pages. How about most of it's like blank and black?
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
good
but
point. Let's
I mean, it's also a story choice, but it's one of those both can be a little from column A, a little from column B.
yeah. Did you color it? Did you just do it with black ink, or did you tell the colorist that's your problem, not mine? I want a little blue. Give them some
and
notes.
even
I'm that way
the
with. I do sets, and I would hire a scenic painter. So you don't want to hire a carpenter? No, I need a scenic painter because I can't paint, and I want
That's
pretty
great.
stuff on the floors and the wall. So I'm gonna pay
That's
them.
great. I think
I
the other
love,
thing
but
I thought when I saw this Starboy straight away is like, how did Jack get to the future? Like, or is Starboy in the past? And I was kind of like, that was my big wondering with the cliffhanger on
and then you
49 was
okay.
it's like,
So
hang on a minute, they're 1,000 years in the future. And like it gets explained here pretty
explain
quickly.
it away conversation too. They just kind of go, oh, we must have traveled through. This is a wormhole, and you've come out. I mean, but it's all done in exposition. I don't think they really show us, do they?
No, they really don't because I'm just flipping back through my omnibus real quick. Yeah, they really just kind of go through a wormhole. So it's not until really I mean, we only know that he's in the future or implicitly in the future because Starboy appeared, and it's not confirmed until I mean, if we really want to think, it's 2998 on the opening page of issue 50. And oh,
Mhm.
I did want to say one thing about the cover. I like the cover. It's a great issue cover to issue 50 of Starman. It's not a great cover to this story.
Yeah, it is very
True.
much. I agree with that. But
Yeah.
I do. I'm a big fan of the covers that give you an idea what the hell's going on in the comic.
Yep, that's kind of why I mentioned it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do
I
like
think
the
we have
Grumpy
to
old
scientifically.
Bronze Age.
Yep.
Grumpy old Bronze Age.
Oops, sorry, Brent, go ahead.
I was going to say we have to mention the fact that it's got gold foil. Like
Oh,
it's
was it a
What?
gold foil?
a gold foil cover. It's got gold up the
Oh
top.
my God.
And
I
Nice.
haven't had the paper, the
we know
floppies.
we're reading a 90s comic when we get a gold foil cover. And it's not only the logo, it's also the Stars My Destination byline and the title Lighting the Way. So they're all in gold. And I think from memory vaguely that this is when I picked the book up again because I think I'd mentioned Ross that I started reading this book and I kind of lost interest around issue 20 and just sort of drifted away. This was the issue that brought me back. And I picked up this gold foil cover and I was like, ooh, anniversary issue, gold's the color of 50 years of marriage. So, great choice. And yeah, it's really cool. The other thing is the Tony Harris art. I love all the little cameos in the background shots and the stuff that's behind Jack's head.
Oh
We've got
yeah.
Sadie there. Um, we've got
Black
got
Pirate.
Ted, we've got Shade, we've got Black Pirate. Is he there more than once? Because there's also the skulls and crossbones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh like I said, why it's a good cover for the 50th issue. Just
Yeah. Even the
uh,
t-shirt Jack's wearing, Jolly Roger Studios. It's there's lots of pirate references, but he
Well,
was actually in the previous issue, wasn't he? When Sadie sees him floating there
a
and he
couple
asks for
issues
help.
prior, yeah, couple
Yeah.
issues,
So
yeah.
I think this is a bit out of time in a way.
Hmm.
This cover doesn't quite match the issue.
No,
yeah.
I wonder if it was repurposed.
would not surprise me, honestly.
It
Um,
might have been Tony's. I would like to do something special for 50, but because he does the covers except for the Alex Ross one, but the
like
Alex Ross are
it's him and
them working
yeah, it's him
together.
and Ross, yeah.
Is that why, I wonder? I
Okay.
wonder if because the Ross covers are coming up and the poster is coming out at this time with the composite covers, whether that was perhaps originally the cover and then they're like, nah, let's split this into several sections. Let's
Mm,
split it up.
Yeah.
I
I
could see
have
Who
that
that.
knows?
poster and I got it. I just have I got to take. I still haven't hung up the logo, Kirby. I've got it safe away from animals and where it's
Okay, that's my main
viewable, but it's not.
concern.
Yeah, it's up high, and I'm gonna move some. I'm gonna think you're gonna get dark side space on the wall above
Okay.
my TV. Um, yeah, it was. I like. I don't have that as my background because I've fallen in love with this picture of the shade,
Yeah, great
which is
image.
another. My biggest thing with this is I like yes, Starboy's in it, but I forgot how much of a shade story it is,
Hmm.
Yep,
and
which
it ties into the fairy tale episode issue annual. Um, I all the timey-wimey stuff in this, I dig it because I do like I love the reboot. I love the reboot equally to, the original.
yep.
They're very equal to in me and my heart. They all kind of they all get a little dark toward the end by mistake. Um, but it just all of it is I liked how he's a fan. He's a fan. Starboy's a fan of Starman.
Yep. Yeah, even though it's
Yeah.
like it takes him a few minutes, I'm like, Jack Knight, which one was Oh, right, you're that one. Okay. And hey, you're Ted. We know you more for the science, but awesome. And
Yeah,
oh,
I really dug it. And then he
Michael,
doesn't know who Michael is.
which there's a really good bit of symbolism later on in this issue when we get to it, when it's, talking about being a hero and all of that. That I'm like, oh, that's a really good touch, a Snyder. I
Yeah.
really like that a lot. And again, to Ross, what were you saying about the pens about faces? It's like you can see like Tom is furrowing his brow for like two panels before it clicks, and I I really like that. I don't remember him having the high collar, but I think I'm sure he did.
Did
Starboy.
he?
Yeah, Starboy having the high collar.
In this version, let's check secret files. I've got the Legion secret files here. I can have
Okay.
a quick look.
I
I
do love
think
this costume.
I,
We
he
should talk
did.
about
He
this
did,
costume. This
actually.
is,
He did.
oh,
you
okay.
did.
I figured it's just like I said, little details drift in and out of the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this. This is one of my favorite Starboy costumes.
Yep. This like it's still below three boot in the original Starfield, but I think this is a really solid one. It's much better than like the purple and gold and Starfield he had that when he like first appears in the reboot. Which I'm
Yeah.
like, that's a bad costume, guys. I don't know if that was
Yeah.
intended to be bad, but it was bad.
When he was one of the Uncanny Amazers, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. If I
Yeah.
got my
I
timeline
forgot
right,
about the Amazers until I was reading this. The Amazers. Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. There was that other team. There were a couple other teams, weren't there?
yeah, because there was the
I have
Amazers, then
not
there
read
was
that.
oh God, what was the team that Livewire joined pretty quick?
Oh, Workforce. The
Workforce.
Workforce.
I was about to say Force Works, but I'm like, no, that's
Yeah,
Hawkeye.
no, the
That's an
Workforce.
Avengers
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
workforce. That sounds like a really depressing. I'm on the superhero team workforce. Oh, we do all the
Oh,
admin.
yep.
Yeah. Yeah, but wasn't a great outing for Lightning Lad, let's say.
No.
The live wire. Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely. I love the
I
appearance of the science police here too. It's
I
kind of
do
like
too.
that was an indication to me that, even before seeing his dialogue, that they they'd gone to the future rather than Starboy coming to the past. And we'd already had this hint, Ross, in the Starman Secret Files and Origins that this was going to
Yeah.
happen, that he was going to meet
Yes.
Starboy. So we kind of knew that, but this was the first indication that they traveled. And I think the other one is just the size of this dark cloud that they've flown into has grown, and they're calling it the Dark Colossus here, which is a great reference to the Great Darkness as
I was gonna.
well as a
I was so
Legion
glad
reference.
they didn't call it the Great Darkness, but it's clearly there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you 100% because I'm going like I couldn't remember the exact twist. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they don't fight Darkseid here. Oh, right, that's the answer. Duh, Kirby.
Yeah, but what's his name? Snyder ties all that stuff together in all the dark metal, death metal, dark crisis. Like they do link the Shadowlands to the Great Darkness. So yeah, they pull it all together. But it's great, and I think it's interesting how the title on the cover is lighting the way with an exclamation mark. But in here, it's lighting the way then, now, and yet to be. Like it's pretty clearly saying this is going to be a time travel story.
Yeah.
That is a Star Trek TOS title. Let's
Yeah, it is. I was looking at, is it a Doctor Who kind of title? No.
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 Whenever you start to get purple and flowery like that, it's like, oh, DC Fontana wrote that or helped co-write it.
What, the world is hollow,
Uh,
but I've touched
for
the
the world is
sky.
hollow and I have touched the sky.
God, Jesus Christ.
I'm surprised I remember that off the top of my head. It's not a good
Hey,
episode either.
no.
No.
I love I do like the moment comes up where the three panels where he finally puts together who's who.
Yep.
With the Holy
Oh,
Nasty or Starman, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just really like it. And he's like, yeah, well, it's nice to know I'll be remembered. Not by everyone. Thank you, kid. You're a dick. You just
And
not by
look,
everybody,
this
just me.
is actually really good characterization of Starboy because he
Yeah.
is a bit of a dick in the reboot, and he's always sort of spinning stories, and he carries on about the Uncanny Amazers all the time, and everyone else in the United Planets is going, who are they? Like, oh, they're the heroes of Xanthu, and he's like, oh, okay. It's like he's always on a different wavelength to everybody else in the Legion.
yeah.
Yeah.
In his powers, I remember just always kind of being out of whack during that era. Like,
Well, they were, and Ross and I talked a little bit about that. So his original powers were basically superboys with
right.
electrovision, and then he loses those powers and becomes gravity controlling powers, like mass increasing powers. And in this version, he's sort of got them back, but then he encounters a space whale and eats space whale meat, and when he
Oh
turns
my
up in the
God.
reboot, he's actually injured from that. So he arrives on Earth with two broken arms, and they don't immediately let him into the Legion, like unlike the previous version. He has to sort of be on trial for a while, and eventually he joins, and so do two other heroes from the Amazers, Kid Quantum 2 and
Hmm.
Monstrous were
Yes.
the other two that joined
God,
eventually.
shit. Now I'm gonna. I love this. I love that era of Legion. I really do. And I like so with every like for me, like with Element Lab, there's a as an example, he's my favorite, but there's a limiting return. There's diminishing returns on each version of him to where like the last two were unrecognizable to me. But this
Yeah,
Starboy, he's just a younger version of what we
the
had
Silver
before.
Age one.
Yeah,
Well, he's
he's
very
just a
similar to the Silver Age one. He's got lots of sort of vibe of that, but characterization was something different in the 60s
oh
than
yeah.
than what it is here too.
Yeah.
Like he's got a lot more character here in lots of ways. I really like and I know you guys have talked about it, but I have to say now that I'm on the show, I love the spaceship. I just love that scene of the spaceship flying there. And it's like, I think you've called it a Nautilus before, Ross, but it's
It,
so cool.
it is absolutely perfect. It's very Tony Harris steampunk. He is
Yeah.
have you ever did you read his JSA book?
Tony Harris?
I forget what. Tony,
Oh, the Liberty
yeah,
Files, that one? Was it the Liberty Files?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
yeah.
I
I
have.
like
It's
that.
really good.
I'd have to go
There's
back.
a
I don't
Flash
think I
figure out
actually.
with him in the, huh?
I don't think I
What'd you say,
have
Kirby?
actually. That's a weird. I guess I have a gap in my JSA that I need to fill.
They're
Yeah.
Elseworlds. It's the first one's great. The second one's just okay, but the first one's
Sure.
really, really good. And it's basically all the heroes if they were in a 1940s spy movie war thing,
All
but
right.
they wear costumes, and the costumes
I
look like
really
costumes would look in the 40s.
I think Snyberg's done a really good job of capturing the ship here. And it's interesting on the page in front, I think it's page 7, the way he draws the city on Xanthu is also that sort of almost that Flash Gordon-esque sort of style of the future. Like it's
Yeah,
kind of cool
a
retro
little
style.
taste of little Art Deco, like late
Yeah,
30s, early 40s
he
serials.
doesn't hold it up though. Like I think you then get to the next page and you've got Starboy sort of talking about how the uncanny amazes have been defeated um, by this darkness, and we've got a shot of Atmos there, and like that machinery, I think he's kind of the vibe has changed. Like I think it's a really hard thing to choose a style for the future. Like, and I think he sort of dips in and out a bit. You've got sort of
Yeah,
Star Trek scenes where Umbra is coming through the separating doors there. Um, I think it takes him a while to sort of decide what the look is going to be.
yeah.
And
I get your point. Look, I'm looking at the robot nurse behind Starboy. That looks like a 1930s cartoon or something.
yep,
That
Yeah,
face,
yep,
that's a Rosie
that's
the Robot.
very, yeah.
yep. And I did notice here, I don't remember Kirby whether Atmos had the missing underarms in the reboot. I didn't think he did, but
No, he doesn't. He had a costume.
this version's missing a bit under his right arm there. If you
Yeah,
have a look.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely missing like chess pieces, and like I said, I don't remember either because I know you're supposed to hate Atmos, but man, I just hate him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Uh,
And this version I hate even more because it's got no personality whatsoever.
yeah.
Yeah, at
Just
least he was arrogant and funny. He was the Guy Gardner of Legion
hmm,
Yeah,
without
he
any of the
was.
charm.
He
it's a good way.
was.
Um,
Uh, again, you mentioned Umbra. I really do like the design here. I think it was a really good blending of like kind of her classic look, but keeping it within every other Legionnaire's like design of this era.
What we've talked
yeah,
about on the Legion of
everybody's
Substitute podcasters, though, is the symbol on the chest that we've talked about. Like this character is called Umbra, but she has a big yellow S on her chest, and she's not called
a
Shadowlass anymore.
Shadowland.
So we're kind of like, and it also looks a lot like XS's symbol. So we kind of
Yeah,
we're
Yeah,
not
it
so sure
does.
about the
Yeah, it
choice,
does.
actually. Yeah, it's 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 an odd choice. It's kind of like harking back to the
Yeah.
original, but they've decided to rename her.
It,
And she is a different character. I
wait,
might just talk a bit about that. So the
hmm
original Shadow Lass first appeared in Adventure Comics 365. This version, Umbra, as part of the reboot Legion, appeared in Legionnaires number 43. So this was quite a way, sorry, 93, quite a way into the run. So she wasn't there at the beginning, but Starboy was. Starboy appeared in Legionnaires Zero. He wasn't a member yet, but he was mentioned right in the first issue. Um, she's probably if people are interested in Umbra, she's got a few key issues in the reboot. One of them is actually about her origin. It's the Legends of the Legion miniseries,
Yep.
and she's in issue number 3 of that. And she it's got a really cool cover by Steve Lytle, and she's clearly one of Steve Lytle's favorites because he also draws her in um, a special that comes out later called it's in the reboot. It's in the Legion number 24 in 2003. He draws a whole issue on Umbra, and
Yes.
it's set in a future where her cousin Grev has become the Shadow Champion, and it goes quite bad for Grev, let's say. But her origin's quite different. She's always been the shadow champion of a planet called Talok 8. And in the original Legion, she just kind of comes and she's got those powers and she decides to leave her world. In this version, she doesn't choose to leave her world. She's actually drugged during a fight against some people from the United Planets who are invading. And the Shadow Master, who's one of the priests, the High Priest, actually decides to form a peace treaty with the United Planets and joins the United Planets. And she's kind of like, hey, hang on a minute. My mother was the Shadow Champion. I'm the next Shadow Champion. I get to make this decision. And it's all too late. And so she decides to go off and join the Legion to infiltrate the UP, hoping to restore Talok 8 to its independence. So a bit of a different take. She's got quite a different character in this. She's a lot harder than the original Shadowlass, I'd say. But they give a really interesting explanation in her origin story that she was raised by the priests, but only saw her mother on 7 occasions in her life. And her mother never spoke to her until she died. And in this version,
Ah,
yeah, Umbra actually can commune with the dead Shadow Champion ancestors. So she gets to meet all her ancestors, and they're the ones that give her the power of the shadows. And she sort of refers to them. So it's a bit like a Martin Stein kind of Ronnie Raymond kind of relationship. So yeah, so she talks to them for advice and gets advice from them. So a bit of a different take on Umbra to the original Shadowlass of the Legion. And we're about to see some connections to the people of Talok 8 as she meets Mikhail.
yeah, I forgot all about this. I knew that he tied them together because it's hinted in Levitt's Legion that she's not there was someone with her powers in the past.
Right, with
It's
Yeah.
one of the corrupt one of his corrupted versions of heroes. But I like this. I mean, and they hinted at this before early on when they brought Michael into the book, right?
I think so. And like they do a pretty good job of like, I'm from Talak 8, you're from Talak 3. Your skin's a little lighter, different shades, different tribes, all of that stuff. Uh, you return to us from Earth in 2021, and it's like, oh, that's in the past now. Great.
Yeah, we're old.
Yeah. It's one of those, we're further away from Back to the Future than Back to the Future was to 1955 type deals. Uh, but yeah, but again, I feel it's done without it being bogging the issue down in a lot of like Roy Thomas explanations, where it's like, oh
There's a
my
little
God.
bit. There's a bunch of exposition in this book.
Yes.
Oh yeah, a lot of dialogue.
A lot. Even for
Well, I
my
guess they've got
case,
to connect all this stuff. Like they're trying to connect all these different
do
histories.
it in
They've
one
got,
issue too.
yeah,
There's like the Kirby thing is like, is this in modern comics? This would take 12 issues. This could have done, you could have done a two-parter with this.
Mhm.
I really like the way she talks about his powers being different in this exposition, though, where she says, they all these fights happen in this shadow cave where she met her ancestors. But she says, when you went to Talok, you fought your battles with light instead of darkness. And I sort of thought that's really nice. He's a very different sort of superhero, Mikhail, and I like that. Have we seen much of him since 2021, other than in the Danger Street stuff?
He's probably in a couple of the
He was in
Pride
that run of
issues,
not Avengers, Justice League with
but
Congorilla.
that was
Yeah,
way before
that's
Danger
before
Street.
New 52, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm saying other than Danger Street, the next time he's written well, I think it's Danger Street.
I think you're right,
He's been,
Kirby.
hmm?
He's in Pride, in some of those Pride issues. You're right, Kirby.
Yeah,
He has been.
I like the Pride issues. I don't think they're great. They're okay. I just
Well,
wanted.
they
He's been
kind
in
of
a
they
leather. He's been there I think it's twice they've written him into like a leather bar.
Yeah, I didn't like that. As
I did.
as
That
a
was. I
queer
worked
guy
in the After
myself,
Hours
I was
Club.
like, this is so stereotypical. I guess, maybe in the 70s it was like that, but yeah, no, it's
No,
it's
no.
not so
It's
cool.
very out of place. And the
It's out
same,
of
but they
time.
said it in the 70s, and I went, okay. Well,
Yeah.
um,
I like the way he looks older too. This is Snyberg again, drawing him looking a bit older, just as
Oh, he's
much as
got the
Starboy looks
cheeks.
younger. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the mutton chops as well.
I do too.
I, I am kind of just glad he got the haircut. It was kind of nice.
I love that he's just in a t-shirt and some jogging pants.
Yeah, yeah, he wasn't expecting to, get involved in all this stuff. It's like,
Hey, I'm in my PJs. What are we doing?
yeah, we're just gonna be in a ship for God knows how long. I'll put pants on when I want to.
Yeah.
Uh,
Can we just talk about the darkness for a minute? So on the next page, they're sort of wandering around Xanthu and they come across the darkness. What, 31st century population just sits on a planet where the darkness is growing and getting bigger and eating everything. It's just kind of like, oh,
Yeah,
we're just gonna sort of wander around this thing and we'll stick our heads into it every now and again to see if it's safe. It's just kind of weird.
and you never
it
see anyone
is.
else, right? We never see anybody except the part people that were on the ship.
Right, because like even as like the issue goes on, we do start to see like these were people who were like getting knocked out by it and all that. But yeah, no, like the plant's either been consumed or evacuated by the time they're getting in here. And Jack, like, what is it? Doesn't Jack just touch it? And it's like, how do
He
you
just
know that
walks
won't?
in. He just
Yeah.
walks in. I do you think that Snaberg got paid for the next page?
Did John Byrne get paid for that issue of Alpha Flight?
It's like we've got one black page here with a green border and the words one step at a time. And then the next five panels are also just plain black with text the text bubbles. Like it's like
I
That's
really
what I'm
like
saying.
it.
It's like, hey, you need to do the 50th, but we'll make some of these all black so you don't have to like kill your wrist on your first go around on here.
Oh, I
yeah.
bet this is cut out overlays where he cut black paper and put it down
Yeah.
to get that solid
Yeah.
black.
I do like the way you have to guess who's talking and there's no like colors to the word balloons. It's just like you just got to work it out.
Hmm.
And there's no arrows even pointing to where the person's speaking from. It's like you got no idea where this voice is coming from. And that Ted isn't there because you can't take a hologram into darkness. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool too.
Yeah, no, that was a really nice touch because otherwise Ted would, be the Spock here, sciencing this answer away like pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Well, I really like this that they go on like a journey that they're in their head, they're in there for days. Um,
that's kind of cool. And I like Shadow Lass actually expelling the shadows rather than creating shadows. That's kind of cool too. The Umbra character, I mean,
yeah.
it keeps them at bay. And then we get these horrible sort of like, I don't know, zombie looking, I don't know what they are, animals like alien or something coming out of the shadows.
They're like ghosts or ghouls or something. And
Okay,
are
so I'll
Yeah.
be recording an episode of Creepy tomorrow with Billy in the morning. I'm like, wait, which issue were they fighting the like black shadow ghosts? Because I think that happens in both this and Creepy that I read.
There you go. And then when they
Oh,
defeat them, we've got that cool silhouette shot
this is the
where
shot
I
I was
love that.
talking about because it's like Starboy, he's a hero. Jack, by this point, he's a hero. Umbra, she's a hero. Michael's still not a hero, so thus he has no symbol to light up.
yeah, that's cool.
I thought that was a really good touch.
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
like that Jack's wearing the sheriff badge,
Hmm.
the tin star.
yeah. It's interesting the juxtaposition of that as the three heroes walk off at the bottom panel and sort of Mikhail's
Leave
just
money.
staring at the fire. Like it's
Hmm.
that's kind of cool. He does join them though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because
Yeah,
like, Mikhail, like he's just been a background character for most of this book up until this point, and so much of this arc is his journey more than like as much as it is Jack's to a degree.
Yeah.
Oh, they
it's cool.
already.
Now then we get to this weird character now. Now this is an interesting character um in the reboot that we've actually got a character that used to be Lana Lang
Right.
and now she's I think it's Lorna Ling or something like that. Um, that they've held on to this,
Lona.
yeah,
Okay.
Lona Ling or something, and they've held on to her from I guess the old version of the Silver Age Legion, when Lana used to travel to the future and get insect powers.
That was
She's
like
an
one of the like
interesting
the third
choice.
Legion comic I ever read was that one where she's in it. And I'm like going, what the? My brother goes, yeah, that's I'll find. And he went found a copy. He had an old Superman comic with her. He was like, oh my God. Even
It's
as a
also,
kid, I was like, what?
remember Ross, we were talking about how the original Starboy story that it wasn't actually a Legion story. It was Lana actually
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
get Clark to like Cal to like her. And so she meets Starboy, who's got more powers. And so that's a really nice sort of callback to his relationship with Lana Lang way back in his first story.
And it's the best kind of callback where it's like if you don't know that, it doesn't impede this story at all, you know?
No,
Because that's something that does drive me nuts. It's like, oh, look at all these references. Well, if I don't know the references or I don't care, this page means nothing to me. But here, no, it
yeah.
still works. And again, just all as I continue on, it's like, hey, you gotta leave her behind, dude. It sucks, but Starboy, you gotta do
It's
it,
that
man.
it's that thing about being a hero. I mean, this whole comic series is the hero's journey, and I
You
like
were
that.
talking, Ross. Sorry, Ross.
Yeah, but I like that we're going to see the hero's journey, and we're going to see the thing about sacrifice. You know that they cram an awful lot in this comic.
Well, even where Starboy ends up in that hero's journey, he's got a place in the long term as well as the short term. So that's
Yeah,
really cool too. I really like the facial expressions on this page, particularly Starboy's. You were talking about his art. It's you can see the anger, the determination, that he's forlorn. It's really cool.
yeah. I do like the next page where we're just seeing like the feed and then a battle, and they all look exhausted. Um, and how he's now leading them. Ready, we got to keep going. He's taking the lead.
That bottom panel, Russ, I looked at that and I was like, "Oh, this looks like the time tunnel."
Good. I'm not the only one.
Have
I've been on
you
a
watched that
Tubi.
show,
I've been on
Kirby?
a Tubi run. Have you ever seen it, Kirby?
I've seen it a little bit.
I loved that show as a kid. That was so
I did
cool.
too.
Did,
I also
did they
like
ever
landed
finish
it.
it? Did they ever resolve it?
No, it only
There's no
lasted what, like 10
chance.
episodes or something. Oh,
Yeah.
I like that and Land of the Lost. Or the
Yeah.
not Land of the Lost. What was it? Land
With the
uh
skis
Land of the
X?
Giants. Land of the
Land of the
Giants.
Giants.
Yeah,
Erwin
yeah.
Allen, thank you for all those crappy TV shows and the Poseidon Adventure, which is a masterpiece.
I did
Made
like the
my wife
Poseidon
watch it. She
Adventure.
was like, "What? Nope, it's a masterpiece. It's a great film."
Yeah.
Um,
Great,
but
great
yeah,
stuff.
it does look like what it looks like is a Dynamite comic based on the cover, a Dynamite comic cover for a time tunnel comic book.
That is very specific
Absolutely.
and 100% accurate.
Yeah, it is. I don't buy many Dynamite comics, but the cover they get some nice covers. I am impressed. I did like the Golden Age, the public domain hero stuff they did. It was just too much of it.
Yeah.
But that's a great panel. I like this, and then the next one, the just that they're all getting beat down by this journey.
Yeah, because I think
I'm
it's
just
like around. Sorry, go ahead, Brent.
No, I agree, but I'm actually feeling as I'm reading this again. I read it yesterday as well, but I'm reading this again. I'm looking at this. We've got this really mournful looking page in the middle of the book. And I'm thinking, okay, I've picked this comic up before. I've never read Starman before, but it's got a shiny gold foil cover. It's issue 50. I'm going to pick it up and read it. How would you feel if you were a new fan reading this book at this point? Like, it's it would be very confusing and kind of mournful. Like the start of this book is kind of dark and depressing and you know, the amazers are not so amazing. You know, we've got a couple of fight scenes where they're beating the shadow creatures.
Yeah,
There's a lot of depressed looking faces in the book up to this point. Like everyone's looking pretty flat and down. And
It's
if you just look through the faces in the book, it's not a happy, joyful,
no.
No,
No,
but at
I
least
think that,
it's a done in one story, which if I was it's like that would at least kind of get me through it because it's like, oh, there is a full resolution to this in the
yeah,
pages.
yeah. What I'm thinking now that because I remember I read this last night during the in between I'd read it a couple pages and watch basketball, but I read it more closely because I knew I was only going to get one full read through of it before we got together. I mean, I looked at it at lunch and stuff like that, but I think the overwritten crap that I love, if I, in pretty much, I don't mind long-winded stuff. The act, I feel that if someone was speaking these lines well, I would think I would have been engaged. I wouldn't have known what was, but but the things he's talking, like a couple of these things he's talking about,
Oh, I love
my
this
knowledge.
panel. I
Yeah. And he
love this
goes,
panel.
the gone, girl from Ipanema. I've not read Stark Parker
They're good
stuff, but
two-fisted adventures.
I know Captain Blood. But the one that got me was the going price for a Captain Action Green Hornet costume, mint in box. I love
Hmm.
Captain Action. I had a Captain Action, and when he broke, I took his little rubber captain's hat and I gave it to my GI Joe. And then, because I got hand-me-down action figures, my brother was like, "You need to get these toys for Ross." And so I got the Captain Action with the Superman, the Batman costume. I had the kid action. That was just so my brother, I was 9 and he was 19, could play with my toys. So, and it had Dr. Evil. They were a great toy. They were a great toy. So I just thought about that. And I've always liked Jack because he's very hipster in a lot of ways. And I don't know if he's created during that year when we started calling hipsters. But he's that nerd, but the nerd hero. And I like that. I always like the fact that he had that collector's brain.
He
And he
does.
had a brain full of useless information, and it meant
Like
something to him, but does it mean something to him now?
like the name of the actors who played the 12 Angry Men, I'm like, oh, that hits close to home.
Hmm.
Or which 1947 jukebox had nicer reds? The Packard Pia Moore Model 7, the Wurlitzer Ambassador kit, or the Seaberg 147? I'm like, yeah, okay, that's a collector. That's someone who knows. It's like, no, no, no. This is the direct to market cover, and this is like like the newsstand cover. You can only tell by whether there's the barcode in the corner or not.
God. I just like it because that's where he's talking about the stuff he did that were important to him before he became Starman.
Hmm.
And this is a very different Jack. He did, and what I like about this part of his story is he doesn't realize he doesn't realize how much he's changed. That he comes to grips what it means to be Starman while he's out on this, but he's thinking about the past when he didn't have the responsibility. Is the way I take this.
Yeah,
There
but
was
you
I
need
also
for this.
think the
go
way he
ahead.
steps into the darkness, just at that very first scene that you mentioned, Kirby, where he just walks in, it's like, I think what he's got now is bravery. Like he's kind of like, and it's not a bravery that's a bravado or a Guy
No.
Gardner kind of bravery. It's just like, and he says it one step in front of one step after the other. It's like I've just got to move forward and I've just got to be brave about it. And I
And
really like that. And even here, he's kind of like he's just going to keep moving forward, and he just needs his friends around him in a way. And Umbra plays the friend here by remembering the book was published in 1990. Homeboy by who was it by?
Seth Morgan.
Seth
Seth Morgan.
Morgan. Yeah. And so, and again, a great James Robinson reference, something that, yeah, all these things are probably things James Robinson loved,
yeah,
really.
like
Oh,
he
oh
does
yeah, no,
have
this
that
At
is
the end
him
of the
knowledge
looking
of
day,
around
two
his
right?
boxes.
office going like, what can I mention? That and that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for what you guys are both saying, it's like Jack in the early issues where he's still that very it's like that's a guy I would have talked to, but he would have not been friends with. This is Jack at a point where it's like I could be friends with you. You wouldn't annoy the piss out of me like early Jack would.
Yeah, because there's that phosphor brother. Jack thinks he's better than his dad and his brother in a lot of ways. Because I'm not running around in a silly costume. acting like a fool. And I mean, the reason I love this series is because of Jack's journey.
Oh yeah.
And and like I've been saying all along while I've been doing this podcast, is I'm not reading ahead. And I'm glad because this one I probably have not read this in 10 years. And and especially the space arc. We said at the beginning, me and Kirby did the first couple. I'm looking forward to this because it's an arc I really love, and I've only read it maybe twice. I never felt it was too long. I mean, it took a while, but you got Taxi Drive. You got it. It hit all the stars. It hit all the spots on a thing, and it was such a cast of characters because he gets a whole new supporting cast in a lot of ways. Um, but I like how Jack is in this one. He's the hero. He walked into danger. It's one step, but it's like you said, Brent, it's not machismo or any of that awful kind of fake bravery. It's just, the bravery of a soldier. I just one step at a time, one day at a time, just try to not, you know, get killed or be killed. Get
And
killed or kill, you know what I mean?
interesting,
Just
his all the talking with David stuff as well. It's like he's also the adult here. And he's
Yes.
choosing to be the adult in this group. We've got Mikhail who's sort of standing back, I'm not a hero. And then you've got these two kid heroes, these teenage heroes from the future. He's the leader. Like he's well and truly
Hmm.
being the leader here. And he didn't play that role in the JSA ever. Like he
No.
was he was always a
no.
background character of the JSA himself. And
He always felt, yeah,
here
I like him in
he's
that because he
taken the
always
lead.
feels yeah. Um, and I do like that Michael is hanging back, but Michael's so brave. Michael went into it, he helped save Grundy, or he went, they all he's shown he's brave. Like when him and
He
Grundy are captured, he makes
He's also got someone to come home to, and I think there's a difference
yeah,
between the two of them here. He's made a promise to come
Yep.
home, and Jack has as well. Like Jack's kind of like, if I come home, we'll get married,
yeah. Well,
or
that's
when I come
that
home. Whereas I
it,
think Mikhail's left his partner behind reluctantly in a way, but he knows he's got to do it. He's got to resolve that part of his life. So he's, as you said, Ross, he's on a journey himself. He's
yeah.
got to remember who he is, where he's come from, what's his connection to that place.
And I think
Um,
she gives him a hint, and he's like, "How do I die? Did I die bravely or whatever? How do I?" And they say she can't tell you.
yeah.
That him and Jack are very similar. That I don't that they don't want to be the hero. They're a little afraid of it at certain points. And I think that the fact that he makes a promise he shouldn't have made. That's when I read that thing where he's promised his partner. I'm like, why that's the worst fucking thing you could do. It's not, because you just don't do it. But I'm a military brat. So, my dad was gone. And luckily I was very little and I just missed my dad and I didn't understand the context. But this thing is, there's always a chance that they're going to die. And Jack's, he wants to promise her. He wants to promise her she's going to find Will. He will do anything. He'll promise her anything because he loves her. But, you know, there's a danger he's not going to come back. And I mean, it's all being projected here. I mean, I think all these things that we're discussing, I think are very consciously put I think this arc, it would be terrible for like a new reader, I agree, kind of way. But I think if I was a kid, I'd have probably enjoyed it just because it was overwritten a bit. But I think these are all pieces. I mean, I really rereading it last night. I really, really enjoyed it much more than I thought I was going. I don't know. I just didn't remember it at all. I mean, I knew they ran to the Starboy and Shade. That was about it. So I just think I'm just gushing on how I really like what they're doing with this. And now we get a whole nother story part. There's a lot in this comic.
Yes,
There
because
is.
just to give again coloring, I like that we're seeing the light illuminating off of the Jack's rod, uh, just throughout these couple of pages, and I think that's a nice touch because I think that's just something that I feel it gets lost a lot, especially as like digital coloring took more and more over. Because
Yeah.
like,
Oh, as for digital colorings, Michael and Umbra are the same color.
yeah,
It's not, I don't see a difference in the shading in the
I
digital copy.
I
Mm.
don't either
The
in my
paper copy
copy.
either. Paper copy either.
Okay. So I know they try to be as close, but once you put it on, it's like putting it on glossy paper, it changes. Um, I love this two-panel spread. I thought my phone, I thought my I was reading it on my tablet, and I don't do panel to panel. I have a tablet so I can read the whole page. I can read comics on my phone, but I do panel to panel. But I thought so my phone had had what I thought I'd moved to panel by panel, and I realized no, that's just it's a two-page spread. It's just because it threw me. And I love this. I love this page so much.
Can I just
Great.
mention what they've just done though too? They've journeyed to the heart of darkness. And you
Jesus.
know,
The
I didn't
and
catch
horrors.
that.
we get this terminology later at DC Comics as well. And it's like I really love the fact that, there's that whole side of this as well. And what do they find at the heart of darkness? They find the shade just
Oh
hanging
my
there. And I
God.
love the way the darkness is just sort of oozing out of him. Like it's like he's not really conscious. It's just sort of pouring out of him. He's not in control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I,
Jack's just a errand boy sent by grocery clerks. Uh, so, but yeah, no, I really do like that because Great Darkness, that was also in the Swamp Thing, which t kind of ties into the last couple. So it's like, okay, good. Like this is all it's a using continuity to the best skill. It's not just reference. There's method in here.
Yeah, and these then suddenly all these shadow demons pour out of the shade and they get attacked and Starboy's trying to understand who he is and all that Jack can get out is he's my friend and I'm not attacking him. And it's, again, you were saying Kirby, this is a Jack you could like as
Yeah,
a friend. It's like this is where he's being likable. Yeah, it's like I'll stand by my friends, There's a
yeah,
great line in
absolutely.
here from Starboy who says, the Legion Code forbids us from taking lives too, but there has to be something we can do. And this is a great reference as well because it's referring
Hmm.
back to a story called The Legionnaire Who Killed, which was in Adventure Comics 342 back in March 1966. And it was Starboy who killed. He
I was
kills someone accidentally and gets thrown out of the Legion. Not this version of Starboy, so not
right,
the
right.
reboot version, but the Silver Age Starboy.
yeah.
And so a really nice callback again. And if you didn't know it, you would know. But if you're a Legion fan like me, you're like,
Yep.
oh, it's a bit of gold. It's another little nugget that's in this comic.
Yeah.
I was gonna guess how I remember that story, but I don't remember the details. But I'm like, oh wait, that's how Jacques accidentally killed someone in during Levitz's run. Never mind.
Yeah, no, it's well before. It's
Oh
actually this
yeah,
guy
yeah,
he's trying to take Dream Girl away from Starboy, and he attacks Dream Girl, and Starboy then accidentally kills him while he's defending her. And so he
yes,
gets forgiven
yes.
eventually, and that's when they
Yeah.
become surprised and mysterious.
Mysterious.
My favorite
Yeah,
Silver Age Legion story.
yeah, that's kind
Um,
of cool.
well, I like how they're all they're not arguing when he says, I'm not going to hurt my friend. Okay, what do we do? Starbo, we have the same rule. What do we do? And I like Michael because he snaps a little bit. I don't know if
Oh
it's
yeah,
is he snapping? He's snapping a little bit because I'll do it. I'm not a Legionnaire. And the shade was never my friend, not like he has to Jack. I'll kill him. One life for the greater good. Michael. And she's like, Lord Michael, I knew you were a champion worthy of, oh, no, not Michael. And then Shade asks, you know, Shade chimes in. I love this. I just become a bigger fan of the Shade every time I read this stuff. And I've watched Into Stargirl where I like the actor playing. I thought I would hate the actor playing the Shade, but it's like, wow, whoever is your casting director, buy them a meal because they
yeah.
just he is spectacular.
all this Shadowland stuff that we're seeing here around the shade
Mm.
comes into Stargirl as well. Like
Yes,
it
I
all comes
really
into the
got it.
Stargirl series too. So
I'm gonna
this
have to buy it.
again, and wasn't Goya involved in that as
That wouldn't
well?
Yeah,
surprise me.
Goyer makes a living as a producer and a
So I'm
in
pretty
the
sure he did, and so he was involved in that Princess of Darkness story in the
Uh,
JSA. So this
definitely.
yeah.
all comes full circle.
He's not a
Yeah,
bad
we should.
screenwriter. He's not a bad screenwriter idea, man. He's just not a very good director. They've let him do it twice and it
No,
ended.
we might talk about that Princess of Darkness story at the end of this because all
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
Shadowland stuff gets bigger and bigger.
Just
Yeah,
one more quick shade. Robert Venditti during his Hawkman story did a pretty good little. I think it was like a 3-issue arc with the Shade showing up. Worth your time if you haven't checked it out.
nice.
Yeah,
Which Hawkman series is that?
it was the one Robert Venditti did a couple years
The
ago. It was
recent
like,
one? Oh,
yeah, the most
I've read
recent.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was good.
yeah. It actually made me go like, am I a Hawkman fan now? I might be a Hawkman fan now.
There are
He did it. Go on,
well,
Rod.
I think it's one of those like the Rags Morales one and Truman, the beginning of Hawk World. There are these. I think Hawkman's under. I mean, he was okay. I've got the Hawkman uh DC Finest, and I've not read those Silver Age stuff, and they're really good. But he was always just the angry Justice Leaguer until I think I never. It's like I never read Wonder Woman until post Crisis because there was never any reason. I just didn't. It was just too. Wasn't my thing. But I think with Hawkman, you get these certain series where for a finite amount of time, it's one of the best comics you've read. And I think Vendetti's Hawkman is
He he
it's
unraveled the
flawless.
continuity. He unraveled the continuity so well. Like he
Yes.
showed Jeff Johns how it's done, actually.
It's
Oh
like,
God.
yeah,
The
you
whole
beat
thing.
John's at it, man.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
And Johns went, oh, he had to have known because it's like I love the idea that yes, he's reincarnated, but not in order.
That's good.
Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Oh, wait a minute. They may be hawking whatever they are, the Western people, but they do that after, their 30th century Tangarian cops or something. It's just
Yeah.
great. And he got Brian Hitch to stick around on a book for a long period of time, which
Yeah.
that in and of itself is you really wanted to do this book because he is slow. He admits he's slow.
Yep.
You know, I'm
Um,
sad we never got his Justice Society series.
yeah.
Mm.
But back to the issue. It is Shay is telling him like, hey, you guys, Jack, you have got to stab me with your cosmic rod.
Yeah.
It's the only way. And it's like, okay. And we get a good shot. I really like the way as like Shade is just standing there with like the rod blasting in all of him. How his hair is just kind of going in all directions, like he's Doc Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Are you
Um,
mad? Of course it does. It hurts like the Dickens, but at least my head is clear now to think, to talk. And then, hey, Michael, here's how we're gonna help you move along a little more in your story. You gotta unlock that star energy deep within you.
yeah. Hold on a second.
It's great. It's great. And they join hands symbolically,
Yep.
or the cosmic rod. Yeah.
In Michael's hair starts going everywhere too as soon as he helps power everything up, and the day is saved.
Yes.
Yeah. I think one thing I'm not a huge fan of in all of these battle scenes is Umbra. Like her power is the shadows, but she's having a lot of trouble fighting the shadows. And
Yeah,
I
I was kind of
really would
thinking
have
that.
liked to have seen that play out a bit differently. I would have liked to have seen her be the only one who could manage in a way. Like that would have been better.
I agree. Like have Starboy kind of have him be the weakest link or maybe second weakest behind Michael or whatever, how that's supposed to go.
Yeah.
But
And then
I would agree with you.
we get another 5 panels here where Sniper got good money for not doing very much. This time they're all white panels. It's like, and then we get a fade from white rather than a fade to white. I kind of like that too. And we see them reappear.
Hey man, we need you to do 48 pages and you got like 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh, uh and again, we were talking of like cartoony, the little floating like robot behind them at serving drinks as they're
Yeah,
in the what do you call it, the denouement begins, sort of.
yeah. Sort of post credits scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And oh, holy word balloons, these next 2 pages.
Oh
This is
yeah.
this reminds me of Bendis and Oming in
Yeah.
Powers. I like Powers.
There's
I like
so
Powers a
much
lot.
in this though. Like if you don't read it, you're kind of missing a whole lot of stuff about what happens
I
next. How did they get there? Where's the time travel? How
And
does Starboy tie in? Like,
there is like so many hints to the last couple of arcs of this series in these 2 pages. It's kind of astounding.
well,
But
I think we
written,
need to look at them then. It's
uh,
kind of like Culp gets a big mention in here and how
yeah.
he sort of gives the shade a disease and that it sort of plays out in the second half of the 21st century. And then he couldn't stop the shadow coming out of him. And so he needed the cosmic rod to counteract it. So he knew that. And then, he had to sort of get the rocket. So the shade actually snatches the rocket from the 20th century to bring it here
Yeah, because
because he
he
needed the
gives it to
rod.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's going to return him back. And then he needs to prevent the shade from ever getting infected by Culp. So this is like the shade's telling a story about something that happens after, the time that Jack left Opal in the ship. He got infected, and now Jack's got to go back in time to make sure he never gets infected. It's kind of like very timey-wimey here.
very
Yeah.
much. And I can't remember if it's in these 2 pages where they definitely name drop Courtney's like half sister.
I thought it was her niece.
It was it was
Is
the
it?
last
Oh,
name
is it?
Dugan, so I think it's her half
Oh, it's the
sister,
first child of Pat and
Pat, and
her
her
mom.
mom,
Oh, okay.
who in JSA, what she would make a couple of appearances throughout that series as the future Star Woman. And I'm like, okay,
She had that weird costume that
it
was
was a
very.
weird, it was a weird one, yeah. Or it was kind of like, or was it kind of like Jack? Crud. Well, I guess I gotta do a full JSA series reread.
No.
I mean, it's gonna be a
Well,
good
it's
time more
coming,
often.
Ross. It's coming, Ross.
Yeah.
Because
Oh
this
my
next
God. I
little
don't know what
scene,
I got
what's
to
going to
do.
happen now in this next few panels with Starboy? So Starboy cautions the Shade about spoiling the future. Don't tell Jack about the future. And then the Shade says, "Have you ever wondered why I brought Jack to Xanthu?" Um, and so he realizes that this is the date he's going to master the shadow power, and he orchestrates a meeting between Starman and Starboy, and he wants to pair them together with Mikhail to effect the cure. And he's like, "How could you possibly know all that?" says Starboy, and he says, "You told me," to Starboy. "In your future, when you're a man, you'll return to the early 21st century, and you will be the next Starman after Jack." "I
I
will,"
love that. I
says
will.
Tom.
And then Jack,
"He
he
will,"
will.
says Jack.
Will.
And the look on his face, Jack's face, is this kid?
Yeah. And he's
Uh,
like, "When I was preparing to exile myself, it was you who told me what to do, when and where. Just took me 900 years to work it out." Um, but that can't be the next Starman, says Tom. "The next Starman's Danny Blaine." And a name you called yourself to better pass amongst the people of the 21st century. This is the moment you're supposed to find out. Your future self told me so. So basically, the Shade's telling him that a future Starman told him to tell him that he's going to call himself Danny Blaine and that you're going to be the future Starman. And then we see a scene where he's actually looking at his future self in a hologram, and it's the Starman from Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
yep.
So he doesn't show up as Danny Blaine until JSA turns into Justice Society of America, right?
Oh no, he
Remember?
shows
Yes.
up.
Oh,
Well, is it Danny Blaine then, or is it in Kingdom Come?
wait. So like Tom, because I know because time you want and back, you know, back office politics. It's the retro boot Tom showing up in the Justice Society, like Ross is saying, and but let's see. Oh wait,
But
this
it's
is
the
90.
reboot. It's the reboot Tom that shows up in Kingdom Come. And we know
Yeah.
that from a trading card that was in the Skybox series that Wade and Ross talk about it being Starboy, that it's actually a Starboy, a future Starboy. And the Starboy at that time was the reboot Starboy, which ties into this.
Which
Yeah.
ties into man continuity reboots are really frustrating a lot of the
So
time.
And
where
I have
has
to say, my reread of Starboy, which I've been doing for all this research, this is where it starts to get fucked up. Like the continuity from here on is like a mind fuck. It's like
well,
I'm trying to unravel it, and I'm going to give an explanation of all this stuff, and I'll come back and do another Starboy episode at some point
oh
when we
my
get
God.
closer to him coming back to Opal City. But yeah, it's really complex from here on in.
Well, it's trying to make it fit, right? But hey,
Yeah.
has Kingdom Come been published? When was Kingdom
Oh,
Come published?
yeah, no, that was like 96, 97, I
Okay,
think.
okay.
So
All right.
we're well past
Okay,
Kingdom Come being out.
gotcha.
But
That
yeah, no,
always
it's
confuses me
yeah.
that there wasn't a long time from Kingdom Come to when John's went, I'm gonna have that since I'm writing, not John's, Robinson. I'm gonna use that. Um,
Well, they're hanging out in the same office. Like this is the conversation, and they've gone. Well, we did use Starman in Kingdom Come, and it was Starboy actually grown up. So maybe you could bring that into your book,
oh my
and here
God.
Okay.
we've got it, right?
And then
I,
John's,
I,
how long does it take John's to do his Kingdom Come arc in Justice Society of America?
That's like 10 years after this, give or take.
Okay. I knew it was a long time
yeah,
because I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
because I was
'cause that's
in
early, that's mid 2000s. That's 2000, I mean,
I
that's
was like high
2010.
school, early college when that was going on. So that's like oh
Okay.
eight, oh nine.
Okay. All
yeah.
right. As I say this, I have
Definitely,
a,
it becomes the retro boot one at that
Right,
point. Like
that's
there's definitely
yeah.
a point where it becomes the retro boot one.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about this, I have a screen savers on my TV through Roku, and it lets you load your own pictures. I've got the three pictures of the Jack Knight McFarlane figure floating by me.
Nice.
Um, um,
Nice. And I love the fact that this shade's now got time travel powers and he's the one that's gonna send them back to the 20th century.
oh my
That's
God.
really cool.
Well, I just
Yeah.
like that we don't know the limit of what he is, and he's only afraid of really two things: the spiders family, the Ludums, and Culp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I Culp reminds me of the TV show, the Robert Conrad TV show, The Wild Wild West. He sounds like he really reminds me of a villain on that.
I am familiar with the show. I've never seen it, so I cannot help with that part of the conversation.
Well, one of their arch enemies, the character Bronick played in the movie was played by a little person who
Okay.
was famous for being on Star Trek and played Toe's stepchild. And he also was
Oh,
nominated
okay,
for,
that
I
guy.
think he was nominated. He also got a nomination for Voyage of the Dam, which is about Jewish refugees on a ship in the late 30s. He's
Gotcha.
really good at it, but I think, but he played the super genius in that show, and it's not played for laughs. I mean, the
Right,
show's
right.
campy, but he's a really a big bad guy.
Yeah.
Um, and I like Culp. I'm looking forward to that. I'm just, oh yeah, they're going
It's
to Krypton
cool. I
next.
yeah, they're heading somewhere. I love the line here that Shade says to Jack as they're standing at what looks like the Moss Isley Starport. Um, even the thing walking past looks like the one from George Lucas's remix of the
Oh,
original.
the one that, yeah, the one that the big, yeah, I know
Yeah,
exactly
Remember they
what
added
you're
it
talking
in
about.
and they had the stormtrooper sitting on top of it? Yeah, that was added in, wasn't it? In the new
yeah, that was
version.
In a
added.
couple places, yeah, in the desert
Yeah.
and in they added a bunch to the streets of Mos Eisley because there was like eight extras in the original. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Umbra giving Starman, Mikhail a hard goodbye. They've bonded. They've bonded. But Shade says you have much to do in your remaining time as Starman, Jack. And we know it's not going to be very long. Actually, we're at issue 50. We've only got 30 issues to go
I
of
know.
this. By remaining time, you make it sound like I'm going to die. No, you're going to do what you're going to do magnificently, says the Shade. And the last line's a really interesting one. Is there a reference for why the Shade says that? Can you remind my old self a rose is a rose is a rose?
I don't
I'm guessing
remember.
that comes up again.
It's got to.
It's got to. And now we know he does he have a does he have a thing for flowers? Does the Shade have a garden?
I have no
I
idea.
was
And
thinking
it's
back to what is the clue? I can't remember I cannot remember the super uber details going forward.
I'm such a
But
Legion fan that I read that line and I can't help but think of Rose and Thorn, because Rose actually travels to the future, and like the Shade in this story, she lives 1,000 years because she's immortal, and so she turns up in Bendis's Legion, and she's
Right.
she's
yeah, because
she's
she did that,
right
they
back
did
from the
that
20
too.
It was
The best
Millennium or
part of
something like that. Yeah.
Legion of
it
Superheroes
was
Millennium.
a it was actually a really good comic and made me
It
think
was.
the new
It's like,
Legion
wow,
was
this
kind
is the
of
best part of the of Benish's
yeah, and
Legion.
then right you get to issue 1 and it's like you're in a train wreck.
It's really
Yeah.
interesting because Bendis did a reread of everything before he started writing, and there's lots of elements he picked up. He may have got his idea from this very line. You
I
never
wouldn't
know.
surprise me. Um, mm.
You
But
can
oh
do
yeah,
all
I
the
like this.
like. Look, I can know all the baseball stats. Doesn't mean I should play ball.
What I so I like this last page where they're hinting where you are because Krypton and everything's turned green. I love the panel of Jack going, "Nice going, Shade," because they've gone back. It's like the 1920s, but they're at Krypton. I like that. I love that panel. That may become my avatar. Just his eyes and the word balloon. Thanks.
Yes.
Nice going, Shade.
Nice
And
going,
we're
Shade. I'll finally get it tattooed and I'll just have that on my arm. There'll
That's
be random
funny.
people, Starman fans. Oh no.
that's no. That's you show that to James Robinson. Goes, wait, did I write that? That's really niche, even for
Yeah.
me.
It's, um,
Have you guys got the ad on the next page
well, no,
No,
I'm
because
on
I
the
just got the
in your
omnibus.
copy? So the ad on the next page is an ad for DC Comics, the original universe, and it says coming in December, and this is the interesting line, Starman number 50, and then the title line it's got there, or the ad line is from times past to times future. Interesting because this wasn't a times past
Not
yeah.
like, well, yeah,
issue.
because no, yeah, never mind. Because like the prior issue was a talking with David, so that makes even less sense. But the next
Yeah, and
issue,
but we don't have a times pass for a while because one, we had 3 of them
It
in
makes
God,
me
6
wonder
months.
about this cover. It makes me wonder about this cover again, where we've
Oh,
got
we
so
don't,
much of
yeah.
the
What
of the Black Pirate stuff.
well, the Pirates showed back up in
like right,
40,
like in the interlude issue, it was like
yeah,
47. Like it's
47. He shows up he comes looking for Jack and finds Sadie.
CD. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're getting a little bit of everything. I do like the way the shadows the shade in this book. Um, Even when he's like when he's talking to Jack and says magnificently, there's just a little extra shadow on his face.
Yeah. So I want to talk a bit about Shadowlands and the shadows because
Yeah,
Okay.
go.
as I was reading all of this, I was remembering how Eclipso and Obsidian and some of these other DC characters tied together. So I went back and reread, and you guys have to go and read this too. Um, Issues 46 to 50 of JSA, the Goya and John stuff.
Mhm.
It's also got Champagne in it. So wasn't
I
he one of
like,
the creators on this book that we've just read?
yeah, he ends up being
So
is he a penciler
yeah,
later? Is he?
he did the inking on this book. So he's in this book as well. And is he doing what's he doing? He's
Didn't he do
doing
some of the art for like the Cobra,
Voluto
JSA
the
versus
artist.
Cobra?
Maybe.
I
Yeah, I
remember I
can't
liked
see
him.
what
I
he's
remember I
credited
like him when
for.
I see him. I
Yeah,
know he
where
did
is
some
he?
of the
Oh, he's the
Justice
inker.
Society.
He's the inker again. So, some of these ideas about the Shadowlands may have come from him, actually, even the connection here. And so in the Princes of Darkness storyline, Obsidian turns bad and attacks Green Lantern. Then we meet Mordru's involved, which is a nice Legion connection. And then we get the Shade kind of contacts and saves Dr. Fate in the book. And then Dr. Fate meets all his dead selves, and there's some great scenes with Courtney in the Shadowlands as well. And Rose and Thorn shows up there because she's Jade and Obsidian's mother. So another nice connection, but that's the original Golden Age Rose and Thorn. Just nice connections all the way through. And then we get Eclipso turns up and we meet the new Eclipso character. I can't remember what he was called. Was it just Eclipso? The young one in the JSA?
I
The
know
one that's
here
got all the
exactly.
tattoos on his body and he sort of captures the Heart of Darkness.
I think he has a name. I'll look it up real quick.
I'm
Yeah,
kidding
I
you.
can't remember. And we get some nice scenes with the Shade in there as well. And then right at the end of the book, Phantom Lady shows up, also using shadow powers. And yeah, it's kind of cool. Maybe he's just called Eclipso, that character.
Alex Montez.
That's right.
Yep. Sorry, folks, I did not. I
Is
had
he
to
the
like
brother of the female Wildcat?
cousin.
I feel like there's a
He's the cousin.
connection.
Okay, I knew there was a connection once you said Montez because
Yeah.
I really like that Wildcat. I like her
Yeah.
version of Wildcat.
I can't wait to actually read through all of Infinity Inc. at some point in the midst of all my Superman reading.
Yeah, you say that now. Wait until you get to about halfway through.
That sounds about right for Roy
Oh,
Thomas.
I love that book anyway.
I need to
It's
reread
more
it.
the art. It's more the art that lets it down in the middle, I think, than the
Yeah,
anything else. After
he
Don
has this
Newton's gone and Todd McFarlane's gone, it just goes downhill.
yeah, and he loves to give. I like Alfredo Alcala as an inker, but he shouldn't ink superhero books.
Yeah.
So
So I've got a bit of a quiz for you two.
okay.
Thinking about
boy.
darkness powers and darkness casting powers, I found a site which has a whole lot of DC characters that are darkness manipulators. And we might just play an ABC game and see how many we can think of
Oh
for
God.
each of those. So can anyone come up with an A?
God.
An A Shadowcast. No, I'm out.
Ah,
I'll give you a hint. Wonder Woman villain.
Aries?
Aries?
Ares. Yep, Ares, the god of war. Okay. A B.
Oh boy.
BB.
This
Think
might
Green
almost be
Lantern.
easy.
Green Lantern this time.
Black
Wow.
Hand.
Black Hand.
Black Hand or Black Lantern. Yep.
I forgot.
A
See, I haven't
C.
read that in so long. Yep. C.
Yep.
Cersei.
This one's a bit harder. Well, she's not on that list, but I guess you could say Cersei. The one they mention here is actually in the Princes of Darkness storyline, and it's one of the agents of chaos.
Oh, that okay.
Nope, still not coming to me.
Short-lived 80s book, Child from Floor and Child
I've
is
never
one.
even heard of that one. So
There you
and I've
go.
read Prince of Dark. I don't remember that character.
Yeah, plays a minor role in it. D's a bit easier.
Oh God.
What did we ever do to you?
Oh my God.
This is really mean.
D.
Come on, the Great Darkness.
Oh, Dark Side.
Dark Side.
Dark Side, of course. Also Dark Raven you could have in there. E's easy. We've just talked about E.
Eclipso.
Eclipso. Okay, F's really difficult, so I'm going to tell you that one. Felicity.
Fade Away Man.
Fadeaway Man? Yeah, it could be. Yeah, that's a good
I
idea.
was
Who's
like-
Felicity? Wasn't she was that a Green Lantern villain?
She was like a
created in the
cat
90s?
creature from the
Omega Man?
Ravagers. Was it the Ravagers?
I
From
thought that was
the
Omega.
Oh my God, yeah. Terrible.
it's the Ravagers, I think. The original
Oh,
ones
okay.
from Millennium. No, from
Oh, okay.
Invasion.
Oh, that, yeah. Okay. I was thinking
Yeah,
that
yeah.
terrible Superboy book.
Okay. G, a bit easier. We've been talking about one of them a lot today.
Uh, uh,
Okay, the Great Darkness would be one of them, and the other one is
oh, Gavin.
Grev Malor,
Yeah.
who's Shadow Kid.
Grev,
Jack-
yes.
Oh,
Grev. Yep. Okay. H, bit harder. Again, Green Lantern reference.
Let's see
Hector?
something.
Not Hector Hall.
No. Oh.
You're probably gonna kick yourselves on this one. It's Hal Jordan.
Oh, because he was a Black Lantern.
Final Night,
Uh,
Black Lantern. Yeah. Okay.
I'm calling shenanigans on that one.
Okay. This is not my list. This is off DC fandom. So okay.
Okay, DC fandom. I've got a lot of issues with you as a site already. This is only adding to it.
This is hilarious. Okay, this one's got is a JSA reference, and he's a bad guy in the JSA.
And the JSA.
And apart from darkness powers, he also had immortality influence.
The Shay. Oh, wait a minute. What are we at? F? Wait a
Run
minute.
I?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. It's
What?
Ian Carcool.
ISIS? Huh?
Oh,
Ian Carcool.
Ian Carcool. Yep. And that's where Obsidian's powers are explained to come from. That the immortality that was given to Alan Scott also had darkness in it.
Oh, Jesus
Which is
Christ.
where his powers came from. Okay. Now, Jay, I didn't know any of these. I'll read them out to you. You might know one of them. Jane Smith, Jennifer Knight from the Arrowverse. I don't know either of those two. Kay also quite Kong Keenan, apparently. He's that Superman from Earth Prime, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yep. L, this is a member of the LEGION.
I can picture the character. I actually know exactly which character this is. It's like Lyra something.
Lyra Malor.
Larissa Malor, which is
So
Shadow
close.
Lass's ancestor.
She's Shadow
You were
Lass's-
close.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm giving myself that
Okay.
1 point out of 25 or 26.
Yep. M, we've talked about today. M. He's in the Princess of Darkness storyline, and it's Mordru.
Mordru. Oh, jeez.
Mordru. Okay. N.
Nightshade.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do Nightshade. There's also Nyx, who is a character, and Nox, and Nacht, for a German one there. And also Nightfall. P's a bit more difficult. Pluto.
We
is the
Obsidian
P one.
there.
Penumbrum?
Yeah, actually, that's hilarious. They don't even have O in the list.
No, okay. I'm going total shenanigans on. But
Oh, that's
Obsidian,
terrible.
who is one of the most like shadow guys.
Darkness characters. Yeah, that's hilarious. They have actually missed O. That's funny.
That's infuriating.
R.
Okay. R.
Raven?
Oh, yep.
Raven. Yep. Good one. S.
Shadow Lass.
Come on. Shadow Lass, come on. And a Starman character, a really important Starman character.
Shade?
Shade. T.
Oh, jeez.
I'm just, as we're talking, I'm now that for some, this popped in my head.
I've realized why Obsidian was missing now.
Right.
Here's
Is it cleaning him under Todd Rice? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
They're putting under Todd Rice. And they've also put Tasmia Malor in here, who's Umbra. Obviously Umbra. Yeah. V. It's getting really hard now.
God, there are not many heroes or villains with a V in their name.
No,
Ross,
they've
I would
got
say
down
you cut
here.
this section out and make it a special episode.
Vale
Where's
or
she
Vanessa
from?
Volt. So from Prime.
Vale from, was that New Guardians?
New Earth, it says. Yeah, it could be. Yep.
Nothing.
And then what's Black Hands? W's Black Hands other name.
No, he was William Hand.
William Hand, that's W. And Z. You've actually
Well, this is
mentioned
going
her
to
in
be
this
easy.
episode, Kirby.
I don't pay attention to what I say. Why would anyone pay attention to what I say? I'm gonna kick myself,
When you
aren't
were
I?
talking about action figures, I think you mentioned this
Oh,
one.
Zatanna.
Zatanna Zatara is the Z. There you go. So lots of shadow wielders in the DCU. And it's really interesting because when I was reading a bit about the Great Darkness and the Shadowlands today, they talked about how that Spectre issue way back, just straight after Crisis on Infinite Earths, is kind of where some of that terminology first started becoming more part of the DCU. Previously, it had just been the Great Darkness in Legion, but they actually talked about it basically being the opposite of heaven, that the Great Darkness is the opposite of heaven, and then that plays into
Swamp
death metal
Thing. Yep,
and
Nth Metal. Yep.
also into Dark Crisis. And basically, they say in that the Dark Universe corrupts the Anti-Monitor, that the darkness corrupts the Anti-Monitor in the death metal series, and then they go into how Pariah actually corrupts the darkness. The darkness isn't bad; it's just an absence of light, but it's Pariah's influence that ends up corrupting the darkness. So it kind of goes all over the place. This, but a lot of it's come out of Starman. Like a lot of this mythos has come out of this comic we read today. Actually, like this is where we start getting an expansion of the idea of darkness in the DCU. And Johns follows it up, Goya follows it up, and so does Snyder eventually.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's I didn't realize that. I mean, Nightshade's a big part of my that post-crisis. I love post-crisis DC. I really,
Yeah.
there's just so much good. And yeah, but that's cool. I like that. I didn't realize there were that many. I mean, some of the answers you can't, they're in both. Okay, first name, last names.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
Yeah, that I'm sorry,
That's a little stretching.
that's cheating.
That's someone trying to build an A to Z list artificially.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, you either make it or you don't. I'm sorry, folks.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's kind of cool. I really like the juxtaposition of light and dark as well. And we see that with Umbra and Mikhail in this issue, where they talk about him being the champion of Talok 8, but he's the light champion, whereas she's the dark champion. We also see that with some other sort of characters, and even in the Knight family, where we've got Ted, who's the wielder of the cosmic light, but we've got Sandra, who's wielding the Phantom, the darkness
Oh
power.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good catch.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of
See, and
cool.
so that's okay. I wanted to ask you guys because I get very confused with Phantom Lady continuity.
Yeah.
Having read, I did the Freedom Fighter with Billy on magazines at Boss or no, his All-Star Squadron thing, which is a really rough comic to read because it's very bad at times.
Yeah.
But having read Will Payton with that, so I mean, which Phantom Lady is this? Is she when we've talked? She's the one that we see in Will Payton, and then later in this Starman, and then eventually you'll see her in Chase, not Chase, not Spider Woman, Manhunter.
Hmm.
Okay, I think the one that met Will Payton was the one that first appeared during Action Comics Weekly.
Oh,
So, so
oh, I
there was a
forgot about that one.
yeah, so there was Sandra Knight, who was, Ted's cousin, which I think was his first established in All-Star Squadron, then obviously like developed more here. Then there was God, the one from Action Comics Weekly who has like a very provocative cover on Action Comics Weekly, which I'm sure got a lot of young readers in trouble with their moms
Mhm.
when they brought that issue home. And then I wish that she was killed off in Infinite Crisis. And then got replaced by a new one, but don't hold me to that.
Okay, so that
Because
makes more sense. I haven't read that. I've looked at that Action Comics Weekly. It's on the app. I was surprised when you were doing your read of it. I was like, oh shit, they actually reprinted this.
You're
I'm
sending me
actually
down
kind of
another rabbit hole, Kirby.
no, I
And there's
did
a
that
lot of
last
He
pages
just
year.
in
no.
those Action
I
Comics
looked for it because he
weekly.
was reading it. He's
Yeah, I
already
was
read it.
yeah, I got to that I learned very quickly which of these creative teams know how to write an 8-page story and which ones don't, because it is very obvious very clearly. But at least every issue had like a Sunday strip with by Kurt Swan, Murphy Anderson, and Roger Stern, so I'll take it.
Yeah. Oh, they were fun book. You
Cool
know.
as. Yeah, she's definitely got a convoluted history as well, as will Starboy from here on in. And
Yeah.
the three boot version even crosses over with this stuff in Starman, which I love. There's a letter
Mhm.
column where he talks to the editor about what's going on in the Starman book, and that's really cool.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
Man, yeah,
we're
so
talking
yeah, with
Stargirl. I had to look something up.
yeah, sorry, but with Star, yeah, reboot. The most thing I remember is like that's one of the coolest costumes of all time for me. Is that three boot
The
Starboy?
three boot. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
because
the three boot Starboy.
like the cape, the way the cape integrates, I think is a really nice touch to it that kind of helps break up that original, or I can't say, but that Starfield, the original Starfield costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Grell one.
Yes, yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I
that's so cool. Actually, no, it's Cockrum. It's Cockrum, the original.
Cocker.
Cockrum,
Okay,
yeah, Cockrum created it.
Yeah, yeah,
I do think it's one of my favorite superhero costumes of all time. It just
yeah.
and I like the mask. I thought when they did the mask for Kingdom Come, I was like, oh, that's a really nice touch.
yeah, which they used in this one here, which was good. Good. So again, like
Yeah.
Brent, like you were
Yeah.
saying, like they're like everyone's talking to each other in the offices.
Yeah, I reckon that's got to be a part of it. And look, they did have their sort of round tables where they'd get together and talk about future stories and which way we're going. And particularly in the Superman books, they used to do that. But I'm sure that others and
Yeah.
Johns
I
would have
think
been
it's
playing a big part
well,
in that.
yeah. And it's this John's leading into when he becomes chief artistic officer at some point. That's he gets that near the end of his JSA run, that gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And we got to
think
remember
yeah.
Kingdom Come was written by Wade,
Yes.
Yeah.
right? It's like he's
Yeah.
gonna be out there talking continuity with other people. He's still doing it. So
Yeah, and there's this thing about, I remember like is it the early 2000s where it was like there is no continuity, no continuity, don't worry about continuity. I think that's led to Dan Diodato getting a job. And look, certain writers didn't want to have to worry about it. Morrison is like, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna write what I want to write, and if it fits, fuck you. You know,
I don't know. I don't agree with you there, Ross. I reckon Morrison is so across all of it.
he
We just
really
don't understand him.
he is talking stuff about. I just,
It was it was my favorite panel I've ever been to at a Comic Con or a comic convention, was sitting for an hour listening to Grant Morrison talk about DC Comics. Oh my God.
yeah,
He
it's
is
that what
like another level genius. Like
he
I
knows it
wish I'd
all.
recorded that conversation because he is so across what's going on, and
Hey,
and it's just really hard to unravel how his brain works, but it actually
yeah,
does work.
I
I
kind of
haven't done
like it
enough
that they're.
Coyote.
Well, what I like about this era in DC comic history, you had a lot of writers working on the JSA. It's like, Johns was like, this should have been a hit years ago. I mean, I really the
That
Mike
10 issue
Parobeck
Straczynski, yeah.
yeah, that Parobeck
Yeah, the
series.
paperback one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, Mark Carlin was a great editor of Superman, but he was a moron when it
Yes.
came to just, he didn't realize that I mean, I'll put it this way, JSA and Earth 2 they're people born after Crisis was long written, but who still are pissed off at Crisis.
Oh,
But me, I mean, but because the Earth 2 stuff was just so I don't think people realized how much. I don't think like Carlin and later writers may have realized how popular it was. Where Johns, as a fan, was like, "Yeah, everybody loves this stuff." And Grant and Goyer and Robinson. These were the heroes they wanted to write. I
I
mean,
was
that's
listening to Comic Geek Speak podcast this week, and they had the writer of the Crisis companion book that's about to come out from Two Morrows. I think it's coming out in August
Yeah, I
He's
saw the
launching
cover
it at
for it.
Comic-Con. He was really interesting because he's kind of looking at the whole thing metatextually, like what was going on for, as he calls him, the Wolfman, which is another Grant Morrison reference. In terms of what was he thinking behind all of this and what was the sort of metatextual stuff going on around the crisis. And, obviously there was a company revamp was part of it.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to sort of launch into the next 50 years of DC Comics.
Mm-hmm.
Really interesting. Really, really interesting.
I'm gonna get. I haven't
Listening to
bought a
his
companion
take.
book in a while, but I want that one.
I think I'm going to get that one too. And I listening to him, I actually thought, let's support Tomorrow's as well as a publishing house. They really suffered under the Diamond collapse. Um, I think I'm going to try and get a few more companions. There's some really cool ones out there. I'd like
There's
to
this.
get some
I've
of the
got. Was
Golden
it?
Age stuff. Have
Oh
you
my
got the
God!
Golden Age ones like All
You
Star and
you
those
got all the
ones?
all. You got all four All
I
Stars.
don't. I'd like to get the All Star ones.
I have two number ones because I was working on a show and I was reading it and my lunch soda broke in my bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're great. I've got a bunch. I've got the Team Up. I've got the Mr. Miracle. I got the Alter Ego Centennial, which is a lot of stuff in it that you like. The All-Star ones are definitely worth it.
Yeah.
And I got the Team Up one, which is I'll probably be looking at it more because it's got a complete list of all Team Up comics.
Maybe you need to write a Starman one, Ross,
Mm.
for them. Maybe you should approach them.
God, I'm not that. I can't write. I barely fucking put a sentence together. At work. But no, they need to do one. I would love for them to do one. Because I'm tired of like Starman being, oh, it's that niche thing. It's not a niche thing. It's just a comic you all should read. And it's a reason it should always be in print. I don't think, you know what I mean? It needs to always, there's certain things that, come on, some evergreens. This should be one. Whether it be the compendiums, which are fine. I mean, I got rid of I needed some cash, but I sold my omnibus. But if they ever put it out in a new one in like two or three more traditional, like but they do now omnibuses, I will get it, especially if it's got the mapping that they do in the compendium,
Mm, nice.
Yeah.
because it's very different than what's in the Kirby. I think when you get to about the middle of it, there's some more differences because
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it's the
Things have.
Hellboy stuff's in those, right?
Yeah. The Hellboy
Okay.
stuff's in these,
Okay.
but we have had a couple of bits where things have like shifted around just a little bit. But yeah, and part of me is thinking like, is it only considered niche because there's not like a movie made of it?
No, but yeah, it might be because Stargirl is the closest thing we get to it on
Hmm.
TV. And
Right.
it wasn't, I was slow to get into it. I think I burned out on CW. I watched a lot of CW in the early 2000s. I'm a big Supernatural fan, other
It's
things are
funny. I
on it.
was I was describing it to a friend that I caught up with this morning for breakfast, and she said, "Oh, what are you doing today?" And I told him I was recording this with you guys, and I kind of tried to do that summary of who is Starman and why would you read it, and I tell you what, this friend of mine's in her 70s, and she's like, that sounds really good. Like she's like, I was describing
Nice.
how he's the reluctant hero and the older brother becomes the hero and how he's a collector and he loves 50s stuff and there's all the music references and the literary references all the way through the book. And she's like, that sounds really interesting. She's not a comic book reader at all, this friend of
Yeah.
mine.
Well,
And I'm
that's how I
like,
try to
it's
sell
that
it.
stuff, right? Yeah.
When people ask me about it, because they see, they go, your favorite, like my even Vic was like, your favorite hero is Green Lantern. I said, oh no, not even close. And she's like, who's your favorite hero? I said, Jack Knight, the seventh Starman. And she understood what I was talking because all I had to do was say Campbell and the hero's journey. She's a big
Mhm.
fan of that. She had read that and understood, big fan of that
Yeah.
and how stories are, you know, those rules, whatever. But she was a little intrigued, but she was like, I got her to read Batman and Green Arrow and Daredevil because it was a lawyer, because she was a lawyer. She liked the idea of a lawyer beating up the bad guys. But I try to people when they tell me and when they ask me about it, I'm like going, it's great. It's a set number of issues. It's you, if you know a little bit about DC Comics, you're okay because they're so Robinson takes time to introduce people. You
He
know what I
does.
mean? And sometimes he does a
This
lot of
is
words, but
this is the comic.
I don't think
He did a lot of words in this one, but it's like this is the comic in the era of anti-hero comics where the anti-hero was something else. Like where it's not the Punisher style anti-hero. This is the anti-hero who doesn't want to be a hero. He's the
the
reluctant
reluctant hero,
hero, and he
which
becomes
is
the
better as
hero.
never
And we
story.
saw it today. This is in this issue, he becomes the hero. I think this really is, as you said, Ross, it's a turning point. This is
Yeah,
where
and
he steps forward and like I'm going to take this role. It may only be for a short time, as the shade alludes in this issue, but he's going to do it, and he's going
yeah,
to be the son that his dad wanted him to be in lots of
Yep.
yeah.
ways. And you see that as they leave.
And a little bit more than his dad, because he goes on this space, the Starman goes out into the universe and becomes, I've always felt that looking back is the reason they know the Starmen is not only because of Ted, but Jack takes it out into, he goes out into space, and then they go, oh, Michael was the Starman. There was this guy called Prince Gavin who was a Starman, and then these other ones that I think Jack going, he expands the myth throughout the universe.
Absolutely. And I
It's
think
this
like that's gonna
journey
be
that
yeah.
starts to cement it, that 1,000 years later they'll talk about the different starmen, and then oh, you're another because Tom, when he realized that Michael was a starman, even if briefly, oh good, there's another. He likes the idea that there's another one. He
I
doesn't, you know
love
what I
the
mean? He's like,
metatextual. I love the metatextual stuff with Starboy not remembering Michael in this
Yep.
one too. It's like he's the Starman. Like he'd had that first issue special pretty
And
much. That
then
was it. And if you missed it, it's
and
like
you
you
know
know
what?
nothing about him. It's like,
I mean, my brother, I read all the first issue specials. I really remembered when I found out it was a book, but it was a little, it wasn't great. It wasn't, I mean, it wasn't terrible. Jerry Conway, and I like it's Mike Vosberg, isn't it? I like Vosberg, but yeah, he's nothing. I mean, I never heard of the Starman in 1951 before I read this comic. I had no idea what they were talking about.
yeah.
And now I know all of it. My wife is just like, sometimes shakes her head. I bought that cosmic rod, and she's just looking at me like,
okay, if it
I
makes
think
him
you make a good
happy,
point. Yeah.
huh? Yeah.
just okay, if it makes him happy.
It's
I
really
love
cool
it.
looking.
I'm
Yeah.
not
I'll
arguing
bet.
that it's not.
I'm
Have you did
jealous.
it? Hey, it's it's sturdy as shit.
That's
I mean,
good.
it is solid 3D printed. It weighs a good 4 or 5 pounds.
Wow.
And the switches move a little bit, just a little bit. They move up and down or just press down a little bit because it's a solid piece. I think it's 3 solid pieces. Because one guy complained that his broke. Mine came in. I'm gonna get a little case for it, but it's huge. It's like that long. It's heavy. It's great. There is a guy that will sell the 3D printing mapping or whatever you call it, the design
Uh-huh.
of Courtney's.
Ooh, I
He
might have
won't
to
make
bug
it
my
for you, but
It's
the
a lot
plan
of plastic.
the
yeah,
that's
I gotta get my
a
buddies to
buddy of mine
3D
does
print
3D
around
printing,
that.
and my buddy does 3D printing. He's a husband of, well, I'm real good friends with his wife. I tolerate him because she loves him. But he's a nice guy. He's just kind of we butt heads sometimes. But he's done some really neat 3D printing. But I saw what a spool was, and he goes, to make something like that big takes like 12 hours.
Wow. That'd be so
So I
cool.
don't know.
The
This
other thing
guy,
I really want and I cannot find is the Jack Knight Starman statue. The statuette.
I've never seen one in the wild ever.
I've seen one.
But
I've seen one at King's Comics here in Sydney years ago, and every one I see now has a broken rod. Like the rod is broken. And I'm
oh,
not buying a broken one.
Yeah, most of those things, I had a bunch of them. They broke real easy. I've got one left, a bust of Captain America.
yeah, like this is kind of the closest from the DC Directs I
Yeah, you were
have.
smart and never took him out of the box. See,
Well,
mine.
yeah, I also found that. Well, yeah, I also found this when I was like 32 years old. So I'm like, I'm not gonna take these out and play with them.
Well, mine
I'm
was just
such a
plain.
collector, but they just the Legion of Superheroes figures that you're showing us, Kirby, in the spaceship style clubhouse.
Mm.
I just couldn't get my head around buying them. Like the quality was not the best, and I'm like,
I got for $30, so it's
I
not like
bought the
I
Mattel action figures. I bought the clubhouse with the actual
see.
action
That's the one
figures
I
in it.
want
See, I
so
would
That's
bad.
love
super
to.
cool.
I
That
would
is really
love to.
cool to
I
have.
I got a Timberwolf on eBay from that set.
I
And I
need
used to
I
have the Starboy one, but I don't have the Starboy action
When
figure
I
anymore.
sold all my Legion DC Finest,
Yeah,
DC Directs, I kept Tom.
you kept Tom. Good
I kept
move.
Tom.
I had it, but I didn't keep it.
But my fixation on Starman was new when I did that. But I do have wait a minute.
I need the wildfire from that set.
Oh, it's nice. It's
I
nice.
know. Yeah,
If I
it's
ever see it, I'll bid on it for you and just you'll get
thank
a
you.
surprise.
Of MO, yeah.
No, I'll just
Within
Yeah.
bid for
reason.
that one if it's reasonable.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
almost bought
I've got I've got several copies of the Invisible Kid action figure that comes with that set.
Oh wait. The actual invisible. Wait.
it
I
is
get
just
it.
it
I
is
get
just an empty spot,
jokes.
right? I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's
Is
an
it
empty space. That's why I'm joking. It's
Yeah.
oh my
like there was
God.
recently a debate. Joe Phillips did a Legion spread with all the Legionnaires in it, and someone's like, "Where's Invisible Kid?" And he's like, and like, there's all this like sort of commenting on Facebook, going, "Look, he's just behind Shrinking Violet, and you can see him. He's in front of Timberwolf." And it's like, you can do whatever you want with Invisible Kid.
My God.
Oh, poor
That's
Lyle.
hilarious. That's
All
so funny.
right,
Well,
guys.
Shock.
Lyle or Jacques, it could be either of them. Who knows,
It
right?
could be both.
It's, could be both.
They're dating now. They're walking down the street holding hands.
Very good.
Uh,
Sounds good to
This has
I'm a
me.
been a
big
lot of
shot.
fun. Look, guys, thanks for having me on for this one. It's been
Oh
a really
no, it
nice
was a
build up
blast.
to this, and I love where they go with Starboy moving forward. So it's a cool twist on the DCU, and just Robinson's excellence of bringing together the JSA, the Legion, and the current present day.
Well,
It's
well,
cool,
I
man.
always liked that the fact that it always made sense that Mordru would be not be a Justice League villain. He'd be a Justice Society villain and a Legion villain. It just to
Which is
me
how
in
I
my
first met him.
brain, that was like, oh, that makes perfect sense. He wouldn't battle. He would be fighting these guys. Because one probably knows Vandal Savage. Like, Jesus, dude, you failed attempt again. They've both
Yeah.
been around for a while. But I like that.
And look, can I say, please support the new Legion book when it comes out.
Yep.
It's Williamson's writing it, so
I'm
give it a
I'm
chance.
I like his
Cautiously
stuff.
I'm really
optimistic.
hopeful. I'm really
I
hopeful
am
on this
too.
one, and I
I
think
am.
we're going to get that Silver Age feel, Ross. I just have a bit of a
I think Wade,
inkling
I think
on that
John,
one.
it's Wade's going to have a heavy hand in it in a good way. I think overall, I've had some problems with the knockout. I read it so other people didn't have to. Some of the single issues were great, and it just was the stupidest event ever written because
Oh,
nothing
KO,
happened.
you mean DCKO?
KO, it was terrible. Nothing
Yeah,
happened.
that's.
But
I think I'm done with Scott Snyder as a writer. Not to get too negative, it's like
No,
all right, dude.
I think this is not this is editorial. I think
Maybe,
this is a
but
failure of editorial because he's not the only one writing it.
yeah.
the
Wade and
Superman stuff was the
Williamson,
best stuff. The Superman stuff was the best stuff in it.
yeah, the Wade and Williamson stuff was the best stuff. But the 5-part series that's got 3 writers' names on it, and it shows nothing happened. It's really, really the if something had been the result of because I thought at the minute we're all gonna have to fight until one of us left, and then we're gonna beat up Darkseid.
I just had a collective groan, I think, with millions of other DC fans when we got to the last page, and it's like, oh, here comes Absolute Crisis.
It's like, wow, I'm not interested.
Oh, I really don't care.
Yeah, don't care.
Well, I'm care because the absolute line's
I
the
like the
best.
Absolute books, but the Absolute characters in this book in DCKO
That's
were
not
like
they're nothing
that
like
was
they are in their
terrible
own
the way they
books.
made them look. Yeah,
They
was
gave
not
no,
good
that
at
bugged
all.
me. No, because the absolute stuff, some of the best DC comics I've seen in a few years.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman especially. I
Oh,
am a convert.
Flash is good too.
It is. Oh no, no, it is. I like it. I'm a little behind on that one, but I I really was it Linda Thompson who's writing Wonder Woman and the art. I like this is, and I'm not a big no, I am. I'm a post-crisis Wonder Woman fan. I'm enjoying them. I'm enjoying them all. The Green Lantern is the one I'm a little shaky on. I'm not as
Yeah.
engaged, but Martian Manhunter's already. They're not going to do after this second story's it. No, they're doing,
Yeah, no,
which I like.
it's good, but they didn't portray them well. I agree, but Legion
Yeah,
book, give it a chance, listeners.
yeah. I'm
Go
hoping.
out and have a look at it. Let's see what Starboy is like in the new Legion. I'm kind of keen to find out.
I'm ready to kind of
Um,
see how they start it. Please start at the big. Do what the
yeah,
reboot did.
Yep.
Tell start. We're not going to be surprised by who you invent. We know that, but like Umbra doesn't show up for what, 80 issues?
yeah, long time.
Yeah, so I
And for
get
me, throw in a block or someone, earlier on,
don't
just
see.
have it be just the Adventure Kids.
Here's the thing, as me for the progressively losing me. I really my there's a core group of the Levitira, Block, White Witch, Timberwolf, um,
Polar
Jock.
Boy, Sansa Girl.
Jock. They're the heart of that team for a while, and that
Mm,
they are discarded.
yep.
I enjoy some of 5 years later. But it is this bubble. I understand why they just kind of take it out and say don't ignore it. But they kill Block, and they do this, and it's like you've just spent.
Wildfire,
Hey,
Dawnstar.
you helped create these characters and make them some of the most popular characters on the team, and then you just whatever.
This is the era that I love Jack Knight because while they were doing the whole anti-hero, let's destroy everything in the Legion, this book was shining. And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know, that's
Oh,
why I got into this book. Like I
it,
was I was picking up Legion, but I was loving this book.
yeah.
That was
It's
the
it,
difference.
what I liked about it is DC has a long history of having characters couple up, Superman and Lois. You need a romance character, and sometimes they work, and sometimes they don't. But I think it was nice to see Jax because we're not
It was a
introduced to him
slow
and his
burn.
girlfriend. He falls and he's not. He doesn't. He's single. He's terrible at dating. They make a point to say he's terrible at it. You get bored. Um, and till he met Sadie, and that you buy that they're in love because they give you a whole issue of okay, I didn't mean to fall in love with you, so I think I need to explain something. And and he goes on the journey. I love it that you're right in the early aughts. Um, uh, that just everything was the anti-hero. That the anti-hero just didn't want to be there. I think you're right. I think it's great. All right, guys. Thank you for coming on, and we will probably have you back. There's more Starman to talk about.
Yeah.
Starboy,
Well,
Dan,
in the grand Guignol, I think it's a long way off. So
yeah,
I'll be back at the end,
yeah,
back in the
yeah.
future.
I still have to figure out how I'm going to cover Jack's era in Justice Society, because to go into Grand Guignol and take a break and, and cover 30 issues. Well, no, he's in what, like 25,
For
30
the
issues?
first 15 year and a half or so, 2 years.
Yeah, but you remember that damn compendium inserted shit that he's in too.
That's true. Like there's sense of youth and all that.
Yeah,
So
so, and I gotta cover Sins of Youth.
yeah, which I should hope. I'm only missing like one issue. I'm missing like three Young Justice series, and then again another series. I swear I will start at some point throughout my Superman read. Uh,
Dude, you'll love it. You'll love it.
uh,
It's one of the
yep.
best super books out ever. One
I
of my
also
favorite team books ever.
You got to think about where Stars and Stripes sits as well,
I
Oh
do. I
yeah.
really that one's
because that's a
important to me.
timing question too in this, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is one of my favorite comic book characters.
Yeah. Well, Court.
She's
See.
absolutely, I fell in love with her from page one of Stars and Stripes. I was waiting
Okay.
for a Star Spangled Kid, and it's when I fell in love with Johns
Yep.
as a writer. I went, oh, you know how to do it. So, All right, guys. As always, thank you, folks. Be safe, be smart. Please be kind to one another. It's a wacky world, especially here in America. And read some comics. Read some Starman. There's lots of it, more than you know.
There we go.
That's good. They tidy. I hate it when they update shit and don't tell you it's coming. Outlook, for our email system changed the other day, and it's like,
It sucks.
well, okay, did it to you too? Like, where's the
Yeah.
I'm used to it. I'm a Legion of Superheroes reader. I'm just used to it. It's constant.